Well, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are from around the world, and welcome to what is a monumentous day. And you might think I'm just saying that, trying to bump things up, but this is a monumental day. Why is this a monumental day? Well, we have race 1 of the NXTGEN Season 4 GT World Tour. Season 3 was a absolute hit, and we've got some new boys lined up, and we have an AM lobby as well. But we find ourselves at Imola for Season 4, Round 1 of the NXTGEN GT World Tour. And I am very excited for this one. We've got some new boys on the ground. We've got boots on the ground. And it is most certainly going to be an interesting one today. And we're currently on board with Alexi in the number 17 McLaren. Baby blue and orange, very popular colours. But nevertheless, one of the new boys here today. And we've got MV GTRS in the 909 AMG matte black. Beautiful looking car there. Currently with the fastest lap time in practice. Usually does change in qualifying sessions. And he's actually running a 151.057, which is the exact same time as the 17 McLaren by Alexi. Hempy half a tenth off, as well as Schema Pelosa. Is that Nicolo P4? Is it? And Rupativo 78 Ferrari. Joining us. And look at these times. Look how close we are. We're going to be treated to incredible racing today. GT Dele in the 79 Bentley. Rock in the 58 Porsche. I think he was the guy who we had a little bit of a bump earlier on today. Extremely wet conditions. I had to jump on for a little bit of practice while we're warming up, but my good God, this was very difficult, so I thought I'd just leave the boys to it. Let's get the stream going. 44 minutes of free practice left to go before proper commentary begins. I will be off mic just before qualifying comes back. And of course, we have Kobe is in the McLaren. Stewart finding himself back in the Bentley, number 15. We've gone for a blue this time. Mamster in the number 11 Audi. New one for NXTGEN. Beautiful looking Audi GT3. And not only that, he's even got MAM as his initials on the LCD screen. This man deserves a pack of cookies. Whoever signed him up, well done. I like that kind of commitment. And Jamo, great to have him back in the 98 Ferrari, and of course, the absolute one, Elliot Hankin, who got a lot of time for this dude and puts an incredible amount of effort into making sure all of this happens. And I think we have a few more joining us, but nevertheless, we'll jump back on board with the 909. Mercedes, currently chasing down Mam, and I will be back on mic just before qualifying starts. Maxi, what is going on, my brother? How are you? How is Germany today? 159 subscribers. We're getting up there. Do the usual YouTube thing. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So I'm just going to sort out my social medias. And then we'll be back. I'm glad you find Maxi. It's been a while since we've been on track together. We do need to sort that out. I was on earlier today, doing some race C. But yeah, it'd be nice to get on track with you again, buddy. Germany is the same weather. What weather do you have? Weather or weather? Actually still paying for promotion for the 12-hour race that we did. Because I believe that the Next Gen boys not only deserve credit for such a wonderful show, performance, great drivers, great people. And weather, yeah, weather. I wasn't sure whether weather sounds sort of somewhat German, so I wasn't sure whether weather was a word in German. Rainy, yeah, it's very, very, very cold in England as well. Not too far away from each other, though, are we? Do I boost this post? What is the first race? Maybe I could boost it, get an extra 60 people in. Yeah, rainy, rainy, freezing. It was snowing here actually about 3 or 4 days ago in the UK. Sharing out all this stuff to my social medias. Let's boost the post. Let's boost it. Let's boost Next Gen. And of course myself, but I do like the Next Gen boys. Estimated audience size 234.9 million to 276.4 million. That's a lot of people. I need sun, says Maxi. Says the god of thunder. You need lightning, mate. You need thunder. Right, I'm gonna go off mic. I'll chat to you in the chat, funnily enough. And yeah, looking forward to Season 4, Round 1 today. We've got some new boys with us, we've got some fast drivers, we've got drivers in new cars, we've got drivers in the same cars. This is going to be awesome, and it is all to play for. It came down to the wire to the last race, although it ended very early on. There's the nice save. But nevertheless, Tice 2. We are going to be treating some incredible racing today. I will catch you in chat. Maxi? Richie! You absolute goat. You are the goat. The Richie Johnson goat. Hope you're doing well, matey. You working tonight? Have you just got to work? I disagree with the goat. No, you are the goat, mate. You are the goat of... I don't think there's a word for it. You are the goat of community. Community can't. Well, damn it, Damo's the community goat, so I can't really call you that. But you're the goat of something. Give me time. Give me time. I'll figure out what you're the goat of. Angora goat, mountain goat, pygmy goat. Well, none of them actually. Off tomorrow and Friday, yeah, just in at work. With you. Well, I hope you're doing well. We've got Season 4, Round 1 today of the Next Gen Boys. So we should be in for a good one. 18 minutes left to go before we kick it off. Easy. Cracking open a cider because I am excited for tonight's race, Season 4 Round 1, and I think that was Kobe just leaving the pits. Oh, cannot beat a nice cold cider. Ready to celebrate the next era of war between the Next Gen Boys. John Wells in chat. Stuart and Elliot both like it moist. And I completely agree there. And Kobe's chosen the McLaren for Season 4. Had a good shot at the end of Season 3. Didn't have the best of starts alongside the other runner for the P1, P2 slot. Cider, yes. Cloudy apple. I should have a go on ACC. It does look epic. It is epic, mate. It's nothing like Gran Turismo Sport. Well, actually, nothing like Gran Turismo Sport. There are elements that are very similar, such as braking points and sort of turning to a degree. But the real big difference is the weight transfer, I suppose. You really feel the weight of the car. Very addictive, more challenging. Generally the only time I drink alcohol. Yeah, same, I'm not really an alcohol sort of dude, but I have treated myself to some ciders specifically to enjoy tonight's race. Copperberg Summer Cider, Strawberry Cider in summer, there we go. He knows how it's done. He knows how it's done. Now, newcomer to the Next Gen Boys that I have come across, we've got MV GTRS and the 909 Mercedes AMG. Now, this is actually one of my, I'll say it's one of my favourite cars. It's not one of my favourite cars, but it is a very capable GT3 car, a very popular road car as well. But the level of handling on this thing is impeccable, and it isn't short of speed. So if you can get the best out of this, sort of more advanced drivers, you should be able to get some pretty decent results out of the Mercedes AMG. Maybe, Jerry, maybe. There's room for a second if you wanted to join. I don't think you even have it though, do you? You're gonna have to start saying sim arcade, sim/arcade, John, otherwise you're gonna upset a lot of people. And pushing a little bit too much in the wet, and that's gonna be 909 in the pits. But at least we know that he's pushing, and the 51 Ferrari still in second place, but half a second off the 909 AMG, nearly into the 149s. But yeah, I've only played ACC on PS4 and couldn't get into it. I've watched streams from PC and YouTube, and it's a different game. Yeah, it's, I mean, you only get, was it 30 frames per second? It feels like 30 frames per second on console, but I think they should be releasing PS5 version, bigger grid sizes, faster frames per second, better quality. It's sort of it depends what you're playing games for. If you want to just play a game, you know, this is all it'll ever be. It's just a game, and it is just a game. But obviously, it is a simulator that have spent hundreds of thousands of pounds on research, development, and I don't think it's fair to call Gran Turismo Sport purely an arcade game. I think it is fair to say it's a sim arcade though, because it's not a full-blown sim. But ACC, if you make a mistake, it lets you know about it. It's a lot more demanding. It's difficult because you can start upsetting people on either side, but ultimately, if you enjoy the game, that's what it's all about. But it's just more of a real simulator. And when I'm playing it compared to GT Sport, I do find that I'm much more engaged, but I don't get anywhere near the amount of fun that GT Sport offers. So it's one of them, you know, you get the elitists that'll only play ACC, and ACC is the only thing you should play. But you know, people like to just play games to have fun, and ACC doesn't provide the level of fun that GT Sport does. Frame rate, 4K graphics, and the array of cars, whereas this is a dedicated simulator based on the real GT3 cars and GT4 cars from across the world, which is what makes this incredible. So if you're into racing, you want to, you know, sort of up your game, if you will, this is where it's at. And once you start playing this, you do kind of, you know, you can't help but call Gran Turismo a sim arcade, because it is a simulator. It's got a lot of simulation aspects, but it's very forgiving. I think is probably the best way to describe GT over ACC. Is it's a little bit more forgiving, therefore it's a little bit more enjoyable. But we've got 11 minutes left to go before we start the qualifying session for NXTGEN's Season 4, Round 1 at Imola. $60 frames per second on PS5, and next February there's a full-blown PS5 version. Incredible. That's what I like to hear, John. That gets me excited. I do struggle with ACC on PS4. Even PS4 Pro, it's not. It just doesn't quite feel right to me, the graphics and the frame rate. But hopefully PS5 will have that down. Ian, I believe GT Sport for fun, but real is ACC. Yeah, there you go. That's pretty much my explanation in a sentence. All depends what you want from the game, I suppose. Daiko's ETM practice at 8. Usually get up for 4 PM, way late in until about 6. Sounds lovely, mate. I'm also aware that, I don't know whether PC5, PlayStation 5 will have the same as PC, but I do know in the PC version there's been quite a few updates that console just don't have. There's obviously the new BMW M4 that we won't be getting. They've got a new tyre model which is much more realistic and includes scrubbing, different temperatures from different parts. There's just a lot more coding gone into it to obviously imitate realism. And there's a few other bits and bobs as well that console doesn't get. But for what this is still a cracking game. It is amazing, especially playing something like this. I don't think we quite give these things enough credit. Both GT Sport and ACC. The amount of hours that have been spent on creating the best experience possible. And millions of pounds going into research, the laser scan tracks, you know. PS5 gets everything PC as. Well. I need a PS5. I'm getting a PS5 after Christmas. Yeah, same. I'm going to ACC and PS5 with an open mind because it's only 30 FPS. Yeah, honestly, Richie, the console version of ACC sucks, but this is what's beautiful about it, and I think because the graphics and frame rate sucks on console, they've had to do this. They've had to reduce the graphics and they've had to reduce the frame rates because there's more coding in the game. So it's took up more information with actual physics as opposed to graphics. Because we all know that Mr. Gran Turismo is all about the graphics. And I absolutely love it. You know, there's a massive difference between hopping on this and that. It feels like it's stuttering almost with the 30 frames a second. But I think PS5 will be the game changer, especially now it's pushing towards PC kind of capability. PS5 Pro. I was just thinking this, Ian. I was thinking maybe I don't get one because they're always going to release the next one, aren't they? They're going to release a PS4 Slim, PS5 Slim, PS5 Pro. You know what I mean? PS5 Executive Edition. So the 51 Ferrari is actually taking P1 slot in the free practice session. We've got 7 minutes left to go before we kick off at round 1 here at Imola. Season 4 round 1 of the NXTGEN GT World Tour. Only a 1-1-1 away from the 51 Ferrari. Liking them numbers. Both these two dudes new to my eyes for next gen, so it's going to be interesting to see what they can do today. The boys have got some pressure, that's for sure. You get 60 frames on PS5, do you, already? Beautiful. Beautiful. We'll see what happens, we'll see what happens. I'm sure my son's going to want a PS5 at some point, so maybe I can get one now and then I'll get the next one when the next one comes out. Whatever it'll be. An 8K version, 8K, 240 frames. And we've got Hempy in the 99 Ferrari. In his, you can't miss this dude, with his bright pink Ferrari GT3. Yeah, well that's it, John. That's it for me. I think, you know, the frame rate is very important, you know, especially in a racing game where every millisecond is important. So 60 frames per second is ideal. And Hempy taking the Ferrari and saying hello to the good friend Barry R, and who can Lucan with a P3 slot in the free practice session. We've got 4 minutes and 44 seconds left to go until we kick off Season 4 Round 1. And this is going to be a good one. I am excited indeed. And the very quick Nicolo in the Lexus this time. 1.5 seconds away from the very quick one. 5.1. 1/10 away from getting into 149s. Where are you, John? Why aren't you in here? Also, is there only 15 people racing tonight, or is there going to be 20? This is just 15. Are you in the other lobby? Oh my god, even better force feedback. You're not racing. Oh, how come? Dude, I didn't even think you could get better force feedback. I didn't even think about that. That's awesome. Oh, so exciting. I'm going to have to get that new DD wheel. I'm going to have to. V3 pedals. Oh, wish list. You can set it up to be sporadic as well, Richie. ACC is sort of where it's at for me for competition-wise, so I will be moving to PC. I will also be getting a team together for esports. But I want to be doing these endurance races, 12-hour, 24 events where you can have teammates and obviously go into the pits, and then you even if they're from the other side of the world, they get on their rig and now they're driving the car for their stint and that kind of thing. Like, that's what I want. Ultimately, that's what I want from this. I want realism. I want, you know, I've mentioned the free TV setups, the motion platforms, all, you know, wish list stuff, but imagine just having weather open, variable, sporadic for 24 hours, teammates, PC, 4K, 127 frames per second. Yeah, I've not played iRacing. I need to get a PC. Magic Mike's got a PC now, and he's bought a brand new VR as well. He's going to be playing ACC and PC and VR. He's absolutely stoked. And that's kind of, I don't know whether I might go that route, because it's cheaper than getting free TV set up, at least initially. But yeah, exciting stuff, mate, PC side. Yeah, it's a bit of a thing that, isn't it? Not having a HUD on GT Sport. I can't stand this stuff, mate. It takes it away. It takes the racing away. I know you need it, but as soon as the pack starts to separate, it's not really needed. But I do what I do. Yeah, very expensive iRacing, isn't it? You got to pay for the cars and pay for the tracks and pay monthly, and very serious, I guess. Well, maybe that's what they're trying to achieve, a more sort of dedicated server, but whether they get that or not, I don't know. Alrighty, 3 minutes until we have the green for the formation lap for Season 4, Round 1 of the NXTGEN GT World Tour. Alrighty, well we've got liftoff. Qualifying session has begun. Hempy first out. On track you can just see Kobe there on the center screen. All of his micro adjustments. He's coming into this corner, and you can see his footwork as well. That's what I love about this. You can see his exact inputs with his accelerator and brake, just feathering the brake there. And now off. There we go. Oh, 316. Lucan. A little bit loose on the exit there. Now Hempy in pursuit of Kobe in the number 7 McLaren 720S, driving the Ferrari last season for season 3 of the Next Gen GT3 World Tour. And we'll see exactly what these boys have got today alongside the new boys entering the Next Gen Tour. And the 78 Ferrari, we'll call him Rupert. Going down the start-finish straight. And this is a new track for me, so I have to get the corner names up. But we've got the number 7 McLaren Kobe making his way through Imola and up to a heavy braking section. He's going to be the first one to put a time down here today for round 1 here at Imola. And 99, used to say in the 99 Lexus, now we've got the 99 pink Ferrari of Hempy. And let's show a little bit of appreciation to the beautiful artwork and design of Hempy there. To the chicane, cutting them corners, making sure no track limits are violated. And Kobe ahead in the McLaren seems to be running a pretty solid opening lap. But we are about to find out exactly what time he's about to hit as he makes his way up to that start-finish straight and crosses the line with a 1:51.483. So a 1.4 seconds off the fastest lap in free practice. Hempy next in the beautiful pink Ferrari, 0.6 of a second. Now a 1.3 with the 51 Ferrari, taking the P1 spot with a 1:57.75. We're going to jump on board with the number 44 Audi Elliot Hankin as he makes his way up to the left-hander, the penultimate corner here at Imola. And we'll see where he places himself on No, not my boy. Kobe is from Belgium and not my son. 1.2 off the pace, number 18 sorry, 17. Alexei, half a second, putting me in P2. The number 58 about to cross that start-finish line in the number 58 Porsche, putting himself in 10th position. And Kobe next to cross the line, followed by Hempy and Lucan, pit connoisseur. Legend Richie. Hempy taking P1 in the 99 Ferrari. Wonder whether he's getting a little bit of slipstream. Doesn't look like he has, and it also looked as though Kobe was pulling away, but he has also been taking grid 1 side by side with Hempy. And the number 58 Porsche making his way up to the penultimate corner, followed by the number 11 Audi of Mamster as they make their way through the final corner and up to that start-finish straight. The number 58 Porsche, 3.2 seconds. Not quite able to capitalise on that. Kobe and Hempy next to cross. Lucan in PTMK, currently on the second grid. So Lucan in the pits after taking P1 away from Kobe, 1/10 quicker in the Lexus here at the very wet Imola for Season 4 of the Next Gen GT3 World Tour. It's called the GT World Tour, but we are GT3s only, it seems. And Lucan 150.2, did see a 150.1 earlier, so I wouldn't be surprised if someone's going to get a quicker lap time, but nevertheless that's put Kobe and Hempy in P2 and 3. MVGT RS in the 909 Mercedes, who was putting some seriously quick lap times down earlier. Okey-doke, so we are coming up to... How am I supposed to pronounce these, Richie? Aku Minerali. Aku Minerali. So they've exited. Where are we coming up to? So we're coming up to Alta and heading up to the penultimate corner of Rivaza. I might call that Rivera though. So we're coming up to Rivera now. We've had the flash of the lights of the 909 Mercedes. Crosses that time. 3:33 off the pace. Makes his way to that start finish straight and he's about to cross that line. Still a .333. But who can look up with a very quick time of 1:52.53. Still in P1 spot with just over 8 minutes of qualifying left to go. Righty, so now 8.37 seconds away from P1, the number 51 Ferrari nailing a 149. That's the first we've seen of a 149 over the past hour's worth of racing, shall we say, here at Imola for round 1 in the Next Gen Season 4 GT World Tour Pro Lobby. And the very quick Nicolo is in P13, nearly 3 seconds off the pace. So it just goes to show the level of quality with drivers that we are getting. And of course we are in new cars, we are in very tough conditions, so there is a lot to say here. He's chosen a Lexus, a Mamster in the Audi, awesome looking Audi has to be said. And he is making his way up to that start finish straight, entering and exiting Rivera. Glasgow, how are you, my friend? Great to see you. Thanks for popping in. Another top 6 race in C. Fantastic, Simon. Good work, mate. Well done. Look at the slippery conditions and the inputs. Oh, okay. I do think sometimes these people are watching the stream. While as soon as you hear your name, it's like, oh. No fan of the FT 1500, no. It's all about keeping that steering as straight as possible. Coming up to that start finish straight, and that's put the 78 Ferrari in P8. 9/10 of a second away from the very quick 149.749, still occupied by the 51 Ferrari of our lamp. Glasgow. I've given it a go, mate, and I feel your concerns. The car wants to kill you, and the brain can't process what's going on. It is a mad car to hunker down on. So Kirby was in P2 earlier, now 0.6 of a second away from the very fast 149 of Lamp in the 51 Ferrari, putting Kobe on the third grid, front row. And of course, the legendary 46 chrome orange Bentley. We have the legend who, for all watching, was the champion of the Season 3 GT3 World Tour. That man right there, driving from England, Stewart, in the 46 Bentley. Now in the blue 15 Bentley, 0.6 of a second away from P1. We've got just under 3 minutes of qualifying left to go. Håkan Lukan still occupying P2. Lexus and an Audi having a magnetic pulling and a chat to the barrier there. Ooh, what was the concept? Just switched it off. Lucan. Grey and ready to put a time down with just under 2 minutes of qualifying left to go before we get the green for the formation lap at Imola for Season 4, Round 1 of the NXTGEN Season 4 GT World Tour. Exiting Rivera up to that start finish straight. Can he push on the 0.5? No, he cannot. Number 15, Stewart, next to cross that start finish straight with a 0.720. So that time's been improved again by a few thousandths. And Stewart, 390, just under 0.4 of a second away from the very quick, so that's just over a 150 there from the 15 Bentley. And 51 about to cross. Can he improve? No, he cannot. Unsurprisingly. And Nicolo now in the Lexus, which I've not seen him drive before. He's driving the Bentley for the 12-hour stream that we did with live commentary, of course. Using a Bentley for that car. Oh, well, I hope you had a great time, Glasgow. Qualifying session is coming to an end. Can the 28 Lexus of Nicolo push on the 1.6 in horrible conditions? seconds. Ease of 1 second, 0.6 of a second knocked off, putting him a few positions up for the start time here. And the 44 of Elliot Hankin, 1.3. And not able to capitalise on that, 0.3 of a second away from Nicolo in the 28 Lexus. And that brings qualifying session to an end. We have got the number 51 and the 17 making their way into the pits like gentlemen. And it is not going to be long until we get that green for the formation lap here for round 1 for Next Gen's GT World Tour. So, there we have it. 51 Ferrari with a 1:49.7, a blisteringly quick time. With a 1:49.716, followed very quickly by Kobe, the beast from the east in the number 7 McLaren, choosing the McLaren. Same mid-engined setup. Still 480 degrees of rotation through the wheel. 1.29 off P1 first row. And in the second row we have Hempy, followed by Stewart. Third row we have Lucan, followed by MVGT, who was running some quicker lap times in practice, so that's going to be an interesting one to see what he does today in 6th position. GT Dele in P7, the 79 Bentley, the number 11 Audi in P8, followed by Rupativo in the 78 Ferrari, Nicolo in P10, Alexi in P11, followed by Next Gen's Hankin in the 44 Audi in P12, Jamo, great to see him here in the 98 Ferrari, and the 58 Porsche of Rock in the rear, and of course the legendary Ghost of 444.
Alright, conditions are wet. We have some slippery curves, and also watch out for your braking distance.
So drivers will be now making their final adjustments as we wait for the green for the formation lap here for round 1 at Imola. And this is all to fight for. Positions and points matter every race. Every position you make has a drastic result on the final few rounds, and it most certainly came down to an interesting race, final race for Season 3. Just under 2 minutes. Until we get that infamous green. A 9-year-old in Dublin. And of course we have John the Helicam man off comms at the minute. He'll be on comms later, but he's joining us today. We had Paul the Helicam man join us for Season 3 of Next Gen. We've got John the Helicam man drafted up for Season 4. And the legendary 46 Bentley the new chrome blue 15 Bentley. And drivers now starting their engines. As you can hear, the roar and frequencies of all the engines begin. Listen to the beautiful sound of this pit wall. And we get the green, green, green for the formation lap here for Season 4 Round 1 at Imola at a very moist Imola. But it must be said, the number 15 Bentley, we do know that he likes it moist. And he's turning into the left-hander into Tamburello. Tamburino. And let's see if anyone bins it on the formation lap. I wouldn't be surprised with such a... She's very wet today. And that's going to get a few of them excited out on track. Lucan, followed by the 909 Mercedes. As we make our way through Tosa. We've got a good look from Richie Johnson in chat to the Next Gen boys. Stewart playing the patient game, making sure his brakes and tyres are optimum, and it makes a huge difference, your tyre pressures in this game. That's something GT Sport doesn't give you. I mean, you are your own pit crew in this game. And a shot from the helicam. As we make our way up to the penultimate corner now. As the formation lap comes to a close, and we are coming up to the very exciting green, green, green of round 1 of the Season 4 for Next Gen's GT World Tour, and this is going to be a good one. We're coming up to the final corner now, and it is going to be a green, green, green any moment now. Kobe side by side with the 51 Ferrari. Hempy in P3 side by side with Stewart and the 909 Mercedes, new to the Next Gen season, in pursuit of Stewart, and any moment now I'd imagine these boys are getting tense, and we've got the green, green, green for Season 4 Round 1 and a very wet Imola, and all points are up for grabs. Stewart, make sure he stays on control, he's onto the side, coming up towards the rear end of Kobe's side by side up with Hempy. The 909 Mercedes is able to hang on to it. Thankfully, he just stays on track. Very, very difficult here in extremely wet conditions. It looks as though the rest of the pack are able to keep the cars on track as we continue to follow P4 in pursuit of P5 5 is the 909 GT3 Mercedes as they now make their way through the left-hander of Tosa. The Ferrari, the number 51 Ferrari, still in P1, followed by Kobe in P2 in the McLaren that he is driving, a new for Season 4. Hempy in the unmissably pink GT3 Ferrari there. And let's just jump on board with this leading pack because it looks as though Hempy, with just under an hour's worth of racing left to go, it appears as though the 51 Ferrari is beginning to pull away. From the pack, can Kobe keep up with the newcomer, Mr. Lamp, in the 51 Ferrari, setting the quickest qualifying time today of a 1:49.7. 1:6. We'll keep an eye on P3 there as we just jump on board for a few moments with Nicolo in the 28 Lexus, going side by side with Elliot Hankin as they go side by side over the start finish here at Imola, and they now make their way up to Tamburello. They're going to have to be hard on the brakes. We've got Hankin on the inside line, Nicolo with the racing line in very wet conditions, but it's all about who's got the best momentum. It looks like the 28 Lexus has got a good run out of there, but Hankin in the 44 Audi, the mid-engined, more, I suppose, more preferred handling through corners maybe with the mid-engine, but with the front-engined cars such as the Bentley and the Lexus, we have somewhat of oversteer with the weight on the front pulling you in just a little bit more. Oversteer that of course can be utilised for very quick turn-ins. Hankin just able to hang on there. Not sure if there was any contact or whether he was just a little bit wide, but nevertheless he lost a position to Nicolo and the number 17 McLaren of Alexi. And Hankin on the side, and he's got an incredible run out there next to the 17 McLaren as they make their way up to the penultimate corner of Imola. With only just under 4 minutes of racing happened already, we've had an incredible action, and it looks as though the pack is very close to each other indeed. I think we're going to be racing to the wire for some of the boys out here today as they make their way up to that start finish straight. The 44 Audi back up into P9, now chasing Nicolo with the 28 Lexus in P8, and Hempy still just under 0.4 of a second off Kobe there in the new McLaren, mid-engined, similar to the Ferrari, but we've got Hempy in a mid-engined Ferrari for Season 4, whereas he was using the Lexus for Season 3. So we jump on board for a few moments with the legend. Elliot Hankin in the 44 Audi as he chases down the Bentley and Ferrari. And just ahead we have the number 11 Audi, newcomer to the next gen season. 4, and we can see P8 flashing on the 44 Audi there as they make their way under the Rebellion Bridge. 3 cars pushing for position. I would imagine that Audi, when settled, is very stable through the corners. But I do think that perhaps the Lexus may be favoured here. It's very interesting. Let me know what you think in chat. Hard on the brakes, little minute inputs through the Audi GT3 steering wheel, and driving from the UK, the CSL Elite. Oh, the number 11 Audi looks like he's off. And what else? We've got a Ferrari. I believe that'll be Jamo. I'm not sure what happened there, but nevertheless, Hankin, as the Delta updated, still chasing P7 of Nicolo in the 28 Lexus. Not quite within slipstream range, just over 33 minutes of racing. So they're in P5 and 6 respectively, but Nicolo running a little bit wide there, about to lose it, and Hankin taking that position. Is the McLaren going to get up to the side? It looks like he's just falling back into line. Oh, we've had a little bit of a bump as well. Keep it careful, careful, careful. We've got some action here. Look at this, everyone bumping up. Oh no, hopefully they can stay on track, as we've got some action between the Ferraris and the Lexuses here at a very, very wet Imola area. I can see all the cars on track. Hankin now leading the party, so we'll see whether he can pull away from the pack or whether Nicolo in the Lexus will be able to utilise the slipstream, as we see the number 17 McLaren there in hot pursuit of Nicolo and Elliott, followed by the two Ferraris, and Nicolo losing control, and we've had more contact between the Ferrari and extreme conditions here at Imola, and unfortunately we have just seen a death occur at Imola. Hopefully there's not too much damage there, but nevertheless we must continue, as Elliott Hankin is now being pursued by the 17 McLaren, only half of a second away from the 44 Audi, and Hempy working his way back up, was 1.3, now 0.7 of a second, chasing Kobe. As they make their way through the penultimate corner of Rivera. The 909 Mercedes keeping up with the fast boys, but that 51 Ferrari is something else. Well and truly leaving the pack, and can most certainly tell you that these boys are quick. That is for sure. Kobe still in P2 in the new McLaren, signing up for McLaren for Season 4 of NXTGEN's GT World Tour, as we are on board with Hempy signing up with Ferrari for Season 4 of Next Gen's GT3 World Tour. We have a huge gap, and now Elliot Hankin with the spin of the 909 Mercedes, 13 seconds. I don't quite think that's 13 seconds. We need to wait for that delta to update between P4 and P5. Elliot Hankin in the 44 Audi is now in pursuit of P4 with the off from the 909 Mercedes. Are we 13 seconds? So just under 5 seconds now separating the 44 Audi to P4 with the off from the 909 Mercedes, leaving a gap of 10 seconds nearly between the podium P3 of Hempy, running a very quick time in the mid-engined Ferrari there, and Kobe still in P2. Hempy just a second away from Kirby in the 7 McLaren. Very smooth on the throttle there in the Audi. '58 Porsche making his way through Piratella. Trying to say it with a accent. Piratella. Yeah, ciao Richie, have a good night mate, thanks for popping in, appreciate everything you're doing. We do need to arrange a meet-up, by the way, but we will talk about that on Discord, as we have just over 46 minutes of racing left to go for the Next Gen Season 4 GT World Tour. Six tenths and now 9/10 of a second separating P6 to P5 of Elliot Hankin. Hankin only... Hempy looks like he might be able to make a move soon. Know that Kirby will see that bright pink monstrosity in in his rearview mirror, and I'm assuming that's why he's done it. Actually, it's a very clever tactic. After all, we are at war here. You need to put your enemies off. Not having the best of days in that Lexus, as Jamo hot under pressure from the newcomer in the 58 Porsche. As he was hard on the brakes there, not quite able to make it stick through the penultimate corner of Rivera there. but nevertheless still able to hang on, and nearly again. Hang on to it, dude. And Jamo now with a fair bit of breathing space as Mamster in the number 11 Audi in pursuit of the 78 Ferrari of Rupert. Lucan making his way up the pack, now in P6 in pursuit of NXTGEN's Hankin, and he looks to have most certainly got this Lexus down, but he has been using the Lexus for Season 3, so he is very comfortable with the Lexus, and of course the boys have been thrown into a very difficult and wet Imola here today as he goes way too hot. That was sick as F. That was literally the best drift I have ever seen. If I could replay that for you guys, I would. Not only is he the pit connoisseur, he's the goddamn drift connoisseur. We've got Tokyo Drift, Lucan in the 316 Lexus. I can't believe what my eyes just saw. That was sick. And he is now in pursuit of the 17 McLaren of Alexi, chasing Elliot Hankin in P5 in the 44 Audi. 8 seconds separating Hankin to P4 of the 909 Mercedes. But we've most certainly got a fight on our hands here. 99 Hempy is 2.1 seconds. Looks as though he maybe got a corner or two wrong. We'll see what happens to that 2.1 seconds as we stay on board with the Tokyo Drift connoisseur in P6. Sorry, P6. Taking that position of Alexi, and I don't think Alexi is necessarily losing these positions. It looks as though, judging from my professional eye, that he is giving these positions to these guys, not wanting to get in the way of anyone's races, as I believe he is a newcomer. And we'll see whether Tokyo Drift can catch up to the 44 of Elliot Hankin, as we now jump on board and go on comms with John, the Helicam man. How are you, John? How's it going up there?
Yes, hello, TMK. It's absolutely fantastic. We've got incredible racing here. We've just seen the most incredible drift there from Hukan. And now in pursuit of the 44 Audi of Elliot Hankin, driving from Britain. Also in pursuit is the Brit, Mr. Tokyo Drift. But it seems as though P1 TMK has well and truly left the field. And it just goes to show what can be achieved here, even in incredibly tough conditions. But it's back to you, TMK, in the comfort of your studio.
Thanks, John. We're now jumping on board with Tokyo Drift on the inside cam as he chases down the 44 Audi, coming up to the left of Tamborilo. And mid-engined Audi looking as though he had a pretty decent exit there. You can see the McLaren of Alexi in the rearview mirror. .280 of a second separating P6 to P5 of Elliot Hankin. Hankin now 10 seconds separating himself to P4. And the 79 Bentley hot on the heels of Alexi. We've got action all over the spot. Season 4, round 1 is already proving to be an incredible race. We've got races and battles all over the shop here at a very, very, very moist Imola. Oh, 79 Bentley just unfortunately going off track there at the penultimate corner of Rivera there here at Imola with just under 40 minutes of racing left to go. Still in a pretty decent position. Plenty of racing left to go as the number 11 Audi is in hot pursuit of Rupert in the 78 Ferrari. Lucan putting pressure on the 44 Audi with his beautiful red LCD screen on that front window. He's in the slipstream as he makes his way up to Alta. Hard on the brakes, able to get that stop, turning it in, getting incredible grip there with the warmed up wets. And it's amazing how much grip you can actually get with the wets, but he is well and truly maximizing on slipstream there. But the adrenaline is pumping between these two. Pit window now open, they are required to pit. As we jump on board with the 58 Porsche, hunting down the 98 Ferrari of Jamo there. Looks like he's got a pretty good run there. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a big fan of the colours of the 58 Porsche. And I said hello to him in the free practice session on track. Sometimes the best way to meet people is with a bump. And it looks as though he has pretty decent car control here. All that braking and accelerating done with a straight car. He's in the slipstream range again. We're coming up to Alta. He's taking that inside line, letting him know that it's coming soon. Maximising track widths, but can he get the run out in the better handling Porsche? It looks as though the Ferrari just gets ahead there. Oh no! Beautiful recovery. Absolutely beautiful recovery.
And now Alexi on the heels, oh, nearly losing the rear end there. The 316 Lexus now behind Alexi in the 17 McLaren. NXTGEN's Elliot Hankin will be loving this, and especially with all of these points on the table, it is all to fight for. Side by side as they make their way up to the left-hander here at Imola, where we saw the sickest drift ever from the 316 Lexus. And now Alexi giving him that position back. Again, I think he knows that the seriousness for Lucan points are on the table, but he's given that position again to the 17 McLaren. But I think the 17 McLaren is playing the safe game, showing gentleman-like skills, allowing Lucan Tokyo Drift pit connoisseur. Yes, that name is long, but that is who he is. As they are hard on the brakes as they come into the penultimate corner of Rivera. And the number 11 Audi now deciding to go into the pits. Alexi, but Rupert has already been in the pits. Oh, we've got the 79 of GT in the pits and Bentley. And so that gives us a little bit of time to jump on board with Mr. Lamp in the 51 Ferrari and see exactly how it is done. Leaving the guys 14 seconds now, separating P1 to P2 for the very quick Hempy and Kobe in the identical Ferrari and mid-ranged McLaren GT3 720S. And of course, we're dealing with realistic conditions here. We're dealing with laser scan tracks. We're very, very wet Imola. Hempy falling back in the pack. 4 seconds nearly separating himself and Kobe now. Kobe in a very, very good position to be able to get some very healthy points on the season 4 scoreboard. But we are now following the 909 AMG 2/10 of a second, separating himself well and truly in slipstream range of the 99 Ferrari of Daniel Hempy, driving from the UK in his CSL Elite F1 rim, GT3-esque, of course. Well, Kobe isn't exactly too far up the road. It's only going to take a little bit of a spin for him, for the 99 Ferrari, to be able to regain a P2 on the points, but he's very much under pressure from the 909 Mercedes GT3 AMG. And we've also got the 79 Bentley showing his nose, as Hempy running wide there. Positions and points already changing as the 909 followed by the 99 Ferrari make their way into the pits. And that looks as though Kobe is well into the pits. That's going to be an interesting one here. How have they handled this pit stop? Have they got it on manual? Did they nail it all in time?
Were they on the brakes late enough and strong enough? We are about to find out. The 98 Ferrari making his way past that start finish straight there in that grid. Absolutely beautiful sound. And they are out, which means look at this! And it appears as though Hempy's made his way in front of the 909 Mercedes. And Kobe looks like he may have lost a little bit of time, but the 909 Mercedes stung with a stop and go penalty, exceeding pit limits of some sort there. But a stop and go penalty has been warranted there for P6 of the 909 Mercedes, so we'll see exactly where he'll end up today with just under half an hour's worth of racing left to go in a pit window of just under 6 minutes. Lucan now in the pits. We've got Jamo, Mamster, Hankin and Lamp still left to pit. But if they wait for another lap, perhaps they'll have a little bit more grip in their tyres for their final stint. But now only 1 second separate Hempy to Kobe in the Ferrari and McLaren. We'll see exactly when the 909 Mercedes will serve his stop and go penalty. And into the pits goes the 909. Lucan exiting the pits. See him in the rear view camera there of the Ferrari 488. And coming out just behind Hempy in the 99 Ferrari. It's going to be an interesting one. I am so excited to see exactly where people are going to end up. I've just realised Stuart isn't racing in the 15 Bentley. I think he might have had internet connections. That's a shame. That's a shame. Alrighty, so last into the pits is Mamster, I believe. The number 98 Ferrari of Jamo, stung with a stop-and-go penalty for exceeding pit limits there. Okay. Yep, Stuart's had some family things to attend to, so he's had to unfortunately back out of this race. But that does mean the winner of the Next Gen Season 3 GT World Tour, yes, has more work to do, but racing incidents occur. The leaders will most certainly have some accidents and perhaps maybe even give chance to a glorious victory for the number 15 Bentley, the legendary Next Gen Lager Season 3 champion, and hanking under pressure from the 17 of Alexei, yet again only 0.6 of a second, just within slipstream range. Alexei seems to be very, very smooth. If he wanted to do some overtakes, I wouldn't be surprised if he could and or wanted to, but it looks as though this dude is being very gentlemanly with regards to the other drivers on track in the Next Gen Season. Let's just see exactly how this guy traverses his way around the very wet Imola. And I'm just going to go grab myself a drink so I can enjoy the final half of Season 4 Round 1 at Imola here for Next Gen Season 4 ACC GT3 World Tour. We'll be back in a few moments.
Pit window is now closed.
Lucan taking the position away from Hempy there in the mid-ranged Ferrari, and both cars looking like a pretty good exit there as they make their way up and through Tusa. Hard on the brakes, Lexus sending it into the left of Piratella and heading up to Minerali. And through the penultimate corner of Rivera and exiting the ultimate corner of Rivera, it looks as though Hempy is just within slipstream range of the 316 Lexus, and Hempy seems to be doing an incredible job driving the new mid-ranged beast of a Ferrari, where he was in the Lexus for Season 3 of NXTGEN's GT3 World Tour. Should be able to get all three in shot. As Giammo looks like he's going side by side with the number 11 Audi as they make their way up and through the start-finish straight under the AWS sign, and it looks as though the Audi is just able to pip in front as they make their way up to Tamburello. Giammo in the 98 Ferrari just at the rear of the number 11 Audi as they make their way into the left here at the still extremely wet Imola. Beautiful looking Audi there as well. So we've got just over a quarter of the race left to go, just over 15 minutes until the final lap is called. Elliot Hankins 0.6 of a second ahead of P5, the number 17 McLaren of Alexi within slipstream range. Alexi is going to be bringing home some points today, and Lucan finding his way in P10 now. So losing a few points there, as I believe he was up in the runnings earlier on, but nevertheless a very quick dude, and I would most certainly expect to see him up in the leaderboards as the season progresses. We've got 15 rounds. Of racing for Season 4 for the GT World Tour. very, very tentative through the corners, but it's most certainly all about momentum here, straightening that goodly cam. Beautiful sounding engine, and it sounds as though he's got the smoothest down to a T. Well, let's jump on with the race leader. 25 laps down, just over 12 minutes of racing, or 12 minutes of racing left to go as he makes his way through Tosa. And I need to see exactly what it takes as he's on his own. We're going to jump on board with the helmet cam and see exactly what a legend is made of. Looking like that car is literally just on the edges of grip, perhaps even losing it and using it as slip angle perhaps. Somewhat aggressive there as well, but completely and utterly under control. Straightening that car up, not pushing it too much, making sure you've got the line, using the momentum to take you through the line, exiting the penultimate Rivera and up to that start finish straight with his Nissan gloves, driving his Ferrari. Through Tamborilo, up to Villanivu. Not sure how to pronounce that one. Nevertheless, making his way through Tosa as his final 10 minutes of racing is underway. See all of his inputs even through the window there. Well, unless he makes a colossal mistake, but judging by his driving and how smooth it is, I doubt that the 51 Ferrari will. And a strong contender for season 4. Great to have him with us. And Alexi still hot on the heels of Elliot Hankin. The 909 Mercedes GT3 AMG, 2.3 seconds away from P8 with the 78 Ferrari. after his stop and go penalty. But he did some very quick lap times in free practice. So most certainly one to watch for is the 909 Mercedes AMG. Kobe in P2 in the number 7 McLaren in the Gulf liveried 720S GT3. And in P3, 8 seconds down the road from the number 7 McLaren is the 99 Ferrari of Hempy. 18 seconds separating a podium P3 to P4 in the number 44 Audi. I like that, a number 444 there. All the fours. Elliot Hankin. And in P5, running an incredible race, solid performance, incredible consistency. And newcomer to Next Gen is the number 17 McLaren Alexi. Very excited to see what this one can do throughout season 4. And of course, we can't forget the number 15 Chrome Blue legendary Next Gen's Lager Stewart. So almost certainly put on a performance for us all. Be interesting to see where he comes in the end. But in P6 is the 79 Bentley GT. Making his way through Minarali. And in P7 is the number 11 Audi. Beautiful looking Audi. Mamster. Only 5 seconds separating him and P6. 6 minutes of racing left to go. And in P8 is the 78 Ferrari of Rupert, who is under pressure from P9 in the 909 AMG. Mr. MV making their way through Minerali and up towards Alta. Looks like he might be going side by side, just showing his nose, just letting him know that he's going to be making that move here or there. And it looks like he's got a pretty good run there within slipstream range. Looks like the 909 Mercedes is starting to play mind games with the Ferrari. Tucked in slipstream, and of course that Mercedes has had an uncomfortable race with regards to that stop and go penalty. But if you do have your pit set to manual, you can save an incredible amount of time and take a position or two. Which is incredible, really, especially when you are racing and you're racing for points in a season. And the Mercedes taking that position, and the Ferrari would have most certainly got the run there, but the Mercedes 909 just having to hang on and control his power slide at the very wet Imola as they make their way through Tusa and up towards Piratella under the Audi Sports sign. Ferrari in pursuit of a Mercedes AMG, passing the Assetto Corsa Competizione sign and up towards Minerali.
And Lucan having somewhat of an unfortunate first start, but he is going to have points, and that is going to make a difference as the season comes to a close in 15 plus weeks time. Nothing really to feel too bad about. It's all about consistency, putting in that effort, because everyone is going to be making mistakes, and even if they're not, they're going to get taken out. So you've got to stay committed. And P10 is not too bad on the points side of things, and Jamo in P11 after his stop and go in the 98 Ferrari, and Alexei losing some time, now 1.4 away from P4, the number 44 Audi of Elliot Hankin. We've got the 51 leading the race, making his way through Tosa right now, and the number 7 in P2 of Kobe crossing that start-finish straight. 4 corners to go before he is anywhere near the alien Mr. Lamp. Two and a half minutes of racing left to go. Unless any big accidents are going to happen, it looks as though the drivers are set in stone. Drivers somewhere in the region of 0.8 of a second to 6 seconds separating most of the drivers on track, so points are still on the table. It just takes drivers to make that one mistake and anything can happen. Maybe number 17 will take P4 off the number 44 Audi, but I doubt it. Not with them numbers, not with that 444. So the number 51 crossing that start-finish straight up towards Tamborilo. And taking the glory of P1 as he is just beginning to work his way up towards a back marker now. Beautiful car control from the 51 Ferrari as he makes his way up to Minerale. Under the Assetto Corsa Competizione sign and up towards the heavy braking chicane of Alta, into the right, out to the left. And what an incredible performance from the newcomer for Season 4, Next Gen Racing. Making his way under the Salia sign, coming up to the penultimate corner of Rivera. And we have a P1 for the number 51 Ferrari, taking an incredible win. And hats off to such an incredible performance there from the 51 Ferrari, followed by Kobe, now making his way up to the penultimate corner. And exiting Rivera. What an incredible performance as well from the young Kobe from Belgium as he makes his way up towards that start finish straight, crosses that line, taking silver today for round 1 for the Next Gen Season 4 GT World Tour. Congratulations to Kobe and Hempy
taking P3 as he crosses that start-finish line. And Elliot Hankin in the 44 Audi in P4 is the number 44 GT3 Audi of Elliot Hankin. Congratulations to you, good sir. Incredible performance in that mid-ranged Audi. And the number 17 McLaren takes P5, followed by GT in a P6. P7 just crossing that line now in the number 11 Audi Mamster, and P8 in the 909 AMG. Very quick dude, it must be said, stung with a stop and go penalty, making his way through Rivera and up to that start finish straight, followed by the last across that line. Do we get a flash from the 909? We do not. Straight in the pits. Do we get a flash from the 78 after such an incredible performance? We do not. So we jump onto Tokyo Drift. Wondering whether we're going to get any donuts from Hempy and Lucan. Such an incredible race. And of course the 316 is one to watch for both cars going into unison there, drifting. Got Hempy doing donuts. And that brings to a close the Next Gen Season 4 GT World Tour Round 1 in the Pro Lobby here at a very wet Imola. And congratulations to P1 taking gold today in the 51 Ferrari. P2 taken by Kobe in the 7 McLaren taking silver today, and taking bronze we have Hempy now making his way into the pits. And thank you to everyone that's tuned in. Thank you for smashing that like button. And for anyone that would like to support TMK, there is a donation in the description. But we are looking forward to seeing you next Wednesday for round 2. Do need to double confirm that, but they are weekly races that will be taking place on Wednesday. And we already have a scoreboard up and running, so we'll be able to run you, boys and girls, with that for the beginning of round 2 of Next Gen's World Tour. Is that all the donuts we're getting from Tokyo Drift today? Hello. It is indeed. So, that brings us to a close. I hope you've enjoyed the show. We will see you for round 2 of Next Gen's Season 4 GT World Tour. Thanks again. We'll see you soon. Ciao, ciao.